Good morning, everyone. Dr. Steve Stoller, Fundamental Health Solutions. You know, we like to think of ourselves as the wellness coaches. We like to teach people to think right, eat right, move right, and live right. This is the series that we've been doing on moving right, and we've been trying to teach these 7 fundamental movements that are essential for every human being to have. And they're not necessarily 7 exercises, they're 7 movements. So there's lots of ways to do these exercises to improve the movement, and that's some of the things I'm going to show you today. But understand, they're not specific exercises. Every human needs to be able to push. From the time in Neolithic time, whether it was pushing rocks or pushing boulders, they had to push things out of the way. And it requires multiple muscles and not things working in isolation. And that's one of the things that we try to instill here is multiple muscle groups working together so that the brain is actually involved in the movement and it requires stability and mobility. So one of the first things that I'm going to do to test you on the push is simply one of the first things you did as a young child, which is to crawl. So as soon as your hands come on the floor in this all 4 position, you're learning how to push. Now, if you have a mirror like mine, you can see and you can actually check your posture to see where you're sagging or where you're bulging. And you want that spine to be nice and flat. So this in itself is a push. If you push your hands into the floor, just like every baby does, then you will feel your tummy muscles come on. And if you don't feel your tummy muscles, look and see your spine, then you'll know that there's some kind of distortion. Most of us will sag, and then you'll feel the spine turn off. But when we turn our spine on, or flex our spine to more of a neutral position, we'll feel our abdominal muscles engage. Most of us walk around the day not engaged. So this is a great way to check that. Now, once this becomes easy, then can you maintain it? And you can test it by crawling forward. It's still a push into the floor, crawling backwards. Or simply, if you want to take it up a notch, tuck your toes and lift your knees 1 inch off the ground, right? And then check your hand positions. Can you maintain that same posture? How long can you hold this position? This is an ideal thing to test. Can you feel your tummy muscles shaking? You're pushing into the floor and elongating your spine, creating a nice long spine and tuning up your core. Now that position should be able to held for long periods of time, breathing, just like babies crawling or bears crawling, those kinds of things. Many of those animal movement exercises are super important. Another way to test the push is more from a seated position, and this can actually help open up the groin. I like this exercise because I always need to work on my hips. And then you can also see how the hips and this push are critical to thoracic posture. So again, I use this stick mobility stick. I put my feet on that stick and I push into the stick, bending the stick. Again, I try to get my feet as wide as I can, get my tall spine as tall as I can, and I try to push and bend that stick. What I get is a lot of engagement, and I also feel multiple areas of tightness that I need to work through. But the stick allows me to turn certain muscles on and to relax certain muscles at the same time. Again, you have the stick and you push. Now, pushing in the frontal plane, which is both those, is important, but you can also push in side planes. I love the archer one that they show, which is the ability to take the stick, align yourself in that half kneeling position, bend the stick, and push it away. Now this opens up a whole different line, strengthens one side, stretches the other. I encourage you to work on your push. It helps open tight spaces and strengthen the weak ones. One of the fundamental movements that's required of every human being. Thanks again for joining us for Move Right Mondays. You guys have a great day.